So, hey guys, thanks for joining us. Hey, Isaac, I want to talk about the pass game, what y'all got out of it the other night, and maybe if you could just discuss your touchdown catch and how that play went.
Yeah, I think, as an offense, I feel like we executed the pass game extremely well, and went out there and, I feel like we prepared really well. We knew what they were going to give us, and, we just took advantage of, what they were giving us as a defense. And then obviously on that touchdown play, it was just, Hud set me up with the interception. We got in short field position, and we just had a play call that I basically knew I was going to score on if we were able to execute it well. And obviously that wouldn't happen.
Okay. And Josh, looks like we saw Brady back at practice today. So I guess you go over to right guard. I mean, just maybe what it's like having Brady back in the lineup.
Brady's a captain. And so him having that position on the team just as a whole it's great to have him back. We know how much he's given to this program and how much he cares for it. And so it's definitely just a benefit to have him. But on an offensive line, he's captain of the team, but on the offensive line, he's also our captain. He's our head guy. And so just having him there driving the bus, it makes a whole world of difference.
Hey, Isaac, Sam Pittman said after the game that our guys aren't dropping passes, and he said it again on Monday. And I don't think there was a drop in the game. Can you maybe talk about what campus looked like and if y'all had 0 drops on Saturday?
Yeah, we did have a total of 0 drops on Saturday, which we were, extremely happy with. We have drops here and there, obviously in practice, but I felt like when we got to game, it was, time to execute, and everyone was locked in, making sure, it was eyes to ball to hands. So yeah, obviously, that was something we were really focused on, and it was cool to see that we were able to execute at such a high level.
Cool. Thanks.
Trey. Yeah, both of you guys. Isaac, you mentioned having 0 drops, but another thing I thought that jumped out, there's a lot of new guys. Both of you guys are new to the team. No procedure penalties, no false starts, none of the wide receivers are lining up in the backfield accidentally, 5 men in the backfield, none of that stuff. What does that say about just the focus you had with the game plan going in, both of you?
Yeah, I feel like that was something we kind of struggled with in our scrimmages. So it's something that we really, Coach Pittman, pounded into us, was making sure that was something we were going to fix. Because most of the time, that first game is when you kind of get the kinks out and, you're getting those penalties. But it's good when you can start off the year with, almost no procedure penalties at all.
Yeah, it's definitely a testament to the coaching. Just the coaches make sure we understand fully our assignments and what we need to do so that we don't, like as an offensive lineman, jumping off sides typically stems from worrying about the play, knowing you need to get off the ball and do a certain thing. And so they've allowed us to be mentally free and understand our role innately so that we don't have to worry about jumping the snap count because we know exactly what's going on.
Josh, I know that Western Carolina was walking their safeties up, loading the box, really kind of coming after the run game. Coach Pittman also mentioned there was some technique stuff that he wanted you guys to do a little bit differently. How big of focus is that this week to get the run game going after it was, a little subpar last week?
Yeah, definitely. No matter what, offensive line is a technical position. It's something that we're going to be focusing on every week, no matter what the product on Saturday is. You need to hit technique every day, or else before you know it, you'll lose it. And so it's just going into every practice, not falling for the monotony of technique work. And so it's just something we focus on every day, and we need to get better at day in and day out.
Thanks, fellas.
Hey, Isaac, I know obviously you want to catch passes, and you did a nice job of that, but there's a lot of post-game talk about that block you threw that helped spring Jaden on his touchdown. I was wondering if you could talk about that play and maybe what you think about your blocking, and then Josh, you're obviously you block for a living. What would you think of his block, and maybe seeing a wide receiver get out there and blocking?
Yeah, that was something we knew that they were going to do going into practice was, that corner was going to trigger really hard. So, I got off the ball, and then immediately that corner just triggered right into me. So I had to just get low and get my hands into him. And at that point, he kind of just fell to his knees. So at that point, I just took him to the ground, and obviously, Jaden read that, and he was able to just take it up the seam and use his speed to his advantage. So yeah, it was just something I was able to do because I basically knew it was coming just because of how many reps the scouts gave us in practice and everything.
And I've told TeSlaa this in person. him and the wide receiving core as a whole I have more confidence in them than I've ever had. And so just knowing that they're going to catch the ball and then seeing the effort they give in the run game, blocking, it's just reassuring to me that they understand that what we do is important as offensive linemen, because that's all we do is block. And so to see them get into it, it definitely makes me happy.
And Isaac, you obviously went against Nudie a lot in practice. I guess you still do. I think you guys probably do some good on good, I imagine. But he had a pick, and he's had 5 picks now, and in 2 seasons at Arkansas, just a season of 1 game. Well, what do you think? What do you think makes him such a good cornerback? And Sam was saying the other day he's got a lot more physical with his tackling, also.
Yeah, I mean, I would attribute it to, I mean, he's just a smart guy. He knows football, and he's very technically sound. So he's gonna be able to drive when he sees a receiver, give an indicator or something like that. But he also watches a lot of film, and he's going to be studying those guys so he can go and make a play like he did against Western Carolina.
And for both y'all, you won your game by 50 plus. The team you're playing, Kent State, lost their game by 50. Well, what's the key to not overlooking them and maybe looking ahead to BYU?
Last week is last week. Next week is next week. This week we play Kent State. Our performance on Saturday won't do anything for our performance on this Saturday. Their performance last Saturday won't do anything for their performance this Saturday. Both teams are going after it in practice today. We'll go after it in practice tomorrow and then throughout the week. And so you just got to take it one day at a time.
Isaac, you got a thought on that?
I would agree. I mean, he basically, he wraps it up well.
Okay, thanks. I might have another question, but I'll turn it back to Oliver. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Jackson.
Isaac, I think all camp coaches, fellow teammates have just talked about how good you can catch the ball, you catch contested passes. Have you always been good, kind of going up, high pointing, making contested catches? And is there anything like specific drill wise or some weird practices that you do to kind of make sure you're good in those traffic situations?
I mean, I've been good at it for as long as I've been playing receiver. I mean, I don't know if I played quarterback in high school, so I wasn't repping too much of, contesting catches or anything like that. But once I did move to receiver, man, I would just do drills every day with my dad. We would just go to the gym and just do ball drills for half an hour a day. And I feel like that's honestly what helped me the most, is just getting reps at just, seeing the ball going in my hands and going up and getting the ball.
So you never played receiver in like youth football or anything? The first time you did was when you got to college?
That's right.
Cool. And Josh, we talked about the run blocking, but the pass blocking was pretty good on Saturday. With Brady out, 4 new starters on that offensive line compared to last year. Is there maybe a little added confidence coming into this week after a pretty good start protecting the KJ?
Yeah, I mean, we did a good job of it on Saturday. It's definitely a confidence booster. It's something that we'll need to constantly get better at and just prove it week in and week out that we can do it.
Thanks, guys.
Daniel.
Hi guys, thanks. Josh, specifically about Chamblee making the spot start with Brady not being there, how was he kind of with the rest of the line and communication and things like that?
Yeah, he was great. He communicated very efficiently. Me and him were on the same page. Nothing comes to my mind of when we weren't on the same page. So I believe we were on the same page every play. And so it was good to have him there next to me. Me flipping sides, I relied on him early on in practices to just make sure everything was smooth. And it was a confidence booster having him next to me.
And then quick word on the home opener for both of y'all, since this will be your first time playing in front of 70,000, hopefully, or close there or thereabouts.
You want to take it?
Did you say a quick word about it?
Yeah.
I'm just excited. I'm just going out there to play football, excited that we're going to have so many people out there, supporting us. I'm just excited to go play some football.
Yeah, I'm excited to run through the A and hear him call the hog. So it'll be a fun day.
Thanks, guys.
Last one, Bob.
Okay. Isaac, did Hillsdale recruit you as a receiver, or you got there and they said, hey, you need to move to receiver? How'd that work?
Yeah, no, they recruited me as a receiver going into camps my senior year. I figured my talents were more suited at receiver. So I decided I was going to go to camps and start working at receiver. So I was being recruited as a receiver.
Yeah, but both of y'all, obviously you practiced with KJ a bunch, but that was your first time to play in a game with him, and he started off 12-12, had a real good day. What y'all think of KJ's performance?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised. He's been doing it for however long now, but it was cool to be able to, see it in person. That one play where, I mean, he made something out of nothing where he was about to get sacked, rolled out, Andrew came back to the ball, and then the 1-2 where he pulled the ball from the running back and just went up the seam. I think that's just a testament to the kind of player he is. I mean, he's a freak.
Yeah, I think it's summed up in the adage, KJ lifts weights. So
I one more for Josh. You've played both guard spots, I guess, in camp, and now you're going back to the other side. I imagine that's harder than people would think. I mean, what's that like flipping? And I guess what does that say about your preparedness that you could go left or right as needed?
Mm-hmm. So statistically, I have more experience at left guard. Just on paper, I think I've started 7 games at left and 2 games at right. But throughout all the three springs I've been a part of, and 4 fall camps. I'm old. I don't really remember. But
Tell me.
so I've never had a rep at left guard and practice throughout spring and camps, but I have the game experience at left. So just being able to rely on that allows me to shift and just move around the ball, and it just helps me out.
Okay, thanks.
Good stuff, guys. Appreciate y'all's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brad, just tell us what happened with that 85-yard touchdown that you had, and had to be pretty exciting for your first college game.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun experience seeing the crowd roar after I get my first pick in the collegiate game. So it was a moment to remember. It's a moment to cherish. It's not common for a freshman to get his first pick in his first game. So
yeah, Coach says you've really been coming. What's the difference in you from the spring to the fall camp? Because in spring we didn't hear your name a whole lot. I know there was a bit of an injury deal, but fall camp it seems like they were just talking about you all the time.
yeah, throughout the process, I feel like as a player I have matured and really gained my confidence throughout the process, and it was something to get used to. Coming from high school, getting to college, so catching up on the speed was something I had to really focus on and tune in on.
And Hudson, you're just kind of all over the place, playing safety spots, playing nickel. All you guys kind of had like 40 snaps each. Is that kind of how you maybe envision things going in the future for you guys?
Yeah, I think just kind of give everybody a blow, trying to be a spark off the bench, whatever coach needs me to be. Yeah, I just think if everybody's fresh and they want everybody to play full speed, I mean, if we all got to get 40 snaps to be full speed, that's going to be the best thing going forward.
Thanks, guys.
Bob?
Yeah, Brad, could you describe that play in a little more detail? The pick six. I mean, is that something you picked up from film study, or you're just in the right place, the right time, or how'd that all happen?
It's sort of like a right place, right time thing. I played two coverages, and I ended up seeing the ball, so I was ball instinct. So seeing the ball, I went to go get it, and it was like a shock when I caught it, and I was like, I only see green, so I just ran to the touchdown. It was great.
Did you get a feeling you were going to make it all the way, or what were you thinking were you thinking touchdown when you got it, or?
I seen like an old lineman when I caught it, so I was like, I think I got him beat. So I was like, yeah, I think I got this all the way.
Had you had a pick six in high school, or was that your first one, or?
I had like a fumble recovery touchdown, something like that. Same thing, hitting the sideline.
But that was your first pick six?
Yeah, that was first pick six ever.
That's pretty cool. And just what was it like playing in your first college game?
It was different, the crowd. I never played in a big of a crowd like that, so it was different, something to adapt to, and it was fun.
Well, it's gonna probably be bigger Saturday, so yeah, feel again. And Hudson, I was wanting to ask you about Nudie. He had another pick. Of course, you did too. And Sam was saying he's gotten more physical as far as a tackler. Kind of what have you seen Nudie's improvement from last year to now? And just what do you think about the interceptions he's able to get?
Yeah, I mean, he's got great instincts. He's a real smart football player. He's definitely gotten more physical and his tackling. And we could see that during the scrimmages when he had one-on-one tackles with running backs, just being able to get him on the ground. And so he's really improved as a player, but he's really smart and has a really high IQ.
And then for both y'all getting five turnovers, I think you guys must lead the nation in turnover margin of +5. I got to look that up, I guess. What y'all think about the defense doing that?
Yeah, I just thought we flew around the ball. I mean, we obviously have we made mistakes that we need to improve going into this week, but I think that's a good start. And then try to improve that going into this week and keep that up.
Yeah, I just feel like the defense was flying around, getting to the ball as what we made to do. So, it was something that the defense was used to. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Jackson.
Hudson, I'm not sure, during our short media viewing practices stuff that we saw much of you at the Hog until maybe the last week before the game. I'm just wondering, when did you, start getting reps there? Was that something all fall camp that you were working on?
No, I think definitely towards the end is where was splitting reps more there. I worked some of it in the spring, and so I guess that kind of really helped me going right into this towards the end of fall camp. But yeah, I think towards the beginning I was just rotating at safeties.
Gotcha. And Saturday was your first time getting real game action with the 3 transfers in the secondary. What did you think about those guys? How nice is it to have, that kind of talent in the back end with you this year?
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, they got game experience too, and so I feel like going into it, the communication was up to par, and it was a really easy transition for us. And I felt like we flew around to the ball, which was a good aspect for our secondary.
And Brad, the 2 returners and Crook and Paul, and they brought transfers in as a true freshman this year. When you got to campus at Arkansas, what were some of your realistic expectations? You play your first game, you get the pick 6. I mean, did you feel like you had a chance to have that kind of big of an impact when you got to campus all the way back when you did?
I knew it was a lot of guys around me, so I was really coming in to, soak up a lot of information, on how to play the game linebacker and collegiate level. So I was really just hoping to outplay my skills on the field, and it all came to the truth.
Thanks, guys.
Trey.
Yeah, Hudson, I was curious what you thought of 18. I'm not sure how to say his name. Alamo, the quarterback. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, they're a team that likes to take shots. They definitely have the speed outside to be able to do that, and so I think this week they'll come out with a fire, especially after last week. We're not taking them lightly. I think they're going to be ready to play, and so we've been working all week. We're going to be ready to play by Saturday.
Brad, what do you think about the running game?
Excuse me.
What do you think about their running game, Kent State, their running backs and such?
I feel like they have a pretty good skill set right now, but right now we're working on ourselves, our team, how we get better, and how to stop them.
Thanks, guys.
Daniel.
Hudson, you've been here a long time. I was just wondering how, as you start this next season, just kind of how your role has changed now that you're kind of the older one sitting next to someone like Brad.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of new faces, new transfers, and so going into this year, I think that we had to kind of like build a brotherhood out of nothing, and I feel like we've done that, especially the coaches helping us. And yeah, I think we've grown really close together, and so that translates to the field with communication and just kind of playing off each other.
Thanks, guys.
Last one.
Okay, I guess I never muted myself again by mistake. Sorry. Hudson, could you describe your pick? And I think you've got 5 in your career, so that's a pretty good total. What happened on that play where you got the ball?
Yeah, we were just in cover 2 and I was in a hook, and so I got a bang on the receiver and then kind of sunk, and it was just reading the quarterback, and his eyes took me to the ball, so I just got a good jump on it.
And I guess you've played corner, nickel, and safety. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything else you can play unless they want to move you to middle linebacker or something.
I think I'm gonna stay out of there. I need to put on
Yeah.
some weight before I do
Yeah.
that.
Well, what do you, and maybe this is, I hope you don't make it seem immodest, but what do you think that says about you that you can do all that stuff?
Just that I'm a versatile player, I guess, and that whatever coach needs me to do, I'll do.
And Brad, I know he's not in your position group, but as a young guy, what do you think about an older guy like Hudson? Kind of, Sam was talking about how popular he is with the guys, and just the kind of person he is, and he does a lot of stuff for the team. Kind of as a younger guy, what's your take on a guy like Hudson?
He's a guy to learn from, get used to see how he plays his role on how he plays his football. So, as a freshman, I just look to learn a lot of things from the older guys.
And then Hudson Singletary, he played quite a few snaps back there, and Sam has pointed out, he played a little bit at Georgia, but not much. That was kind of probably his most extensive playing time. What you think of Jaheim back there?
Yeah, he's a competitor and he does this every day in practice. So going out, translating it to the real game, I think went smoothly. He's fast and he's a competitor, and so whoever he lines up against, he's gonna play his heart out.
And I know obviously you got a lot of bigger challenges ahead on the schedule, but considering the way the pass defense was last year, how good of a start was that for y'all? What do you think that does for y'all's confidence level?
Yeah, I think it definitely helped us kind of have a place to build on. I mean, we weren't perfect. We got a lot to improve as a secondary, and I think we're headed in the right direction. We just got to keep working.
Okay, thanks.
Brad, Hood, appreciate the time, guys.
Thank you.